Hey everyone, it's Argonath here from Return of the Fan, and welcome to discussing Spider-Man No Way Home, but with spoilers obviously, because I want to talk about certain things in the movie, and can't do that without spoiling the movie. So I've already done my non-spoiler video. If you haven't seen the movie, you're welcome to watch that. So as I said in my previous video, it pretty much starts off as a standard Marvel MCU movie at the beginning, right? All this, the dumb MCU humor, that kind of stuff, gets the story going. But once it kind of hits close to the halfway mark, it really comes into its own as a Spider-Man movie, which is awesome. And I think it provides some great fan service to all the fans of not just Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but also of all the other Spider-Men that have gone before him as well. So, fan service seems to be a dirty word in Hollywood these days, but if you give the fans what they want, they will come and spend money. And from what I've seen, Spider-Man No Way Home is absolutely crushing the competition in the box office all over the place. I'll have to do a separate video on how well it's doing in the box office. But we just need all of these movie studios to see that fan service is not a dirty word. Give us what we want as fans, and we will come and see your movies, pandemic or no pandemic. So I think it's got some awesome fan service. There's lots of great touches for fans of the original movies and so on. So as you probably know, this is a multiverse movie where different characters from different universes come in to Tom Holland's universe. And on the whole, I think it's done pretty well. The great thing about this movie is there's no woke crap or political messaging in this movie. Nothing like that, which is excellent. We don't want that kind of stuff infecting our movies and entertainment. And if you don't do that, it just goes to show you how popular movies can become. And I think one of the reasons is that this is a mainly Sony production, although Marvel has made the movie for Sony. So I'm hoping that Sony has kind of overseen the production of this movie and made sure that there's no woke crap that got into it, which I can safely say there isn't, which is excellent. So on the whole, I think the multiverse idea was done pretty well. It's not overwhelming, because when you start getting into a multiverse, it can be very overwhelming in terms of the number of characters and different versions of characters that can appear and so on. So on the whole, I think it's done really well in that sort of term. So we get all the villains from the previous movies, which is excellent. So we've got Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, who is excellent again. He is a great actor and truly does justice to Dr. Octavius. So he's excellent. Willem Dafoe, I think, is the best villain out of all of them. His portrayal of the Green Goblin is just brilliant, and I think he is a suitable villain for Spider-Man. So he's excellent. Jamie Foxx, who I didn't really like in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie as Electro, I thought he did pretty well in this particular movie actually. So he was fine as well. We also had Thomas Hayden Church as the Sandman. Didn't have a huge amount to play in this particular movie. I didn't really think too much of the character from the Spider-Man movies, but he was okay. And then we had I think his name is pronounced Rhys Ifans or Ifans, or Rhys Ifans. I'm not too sure how to pronounce it. I hope I pronounce it correctly. As the Lizard, and again, not as prominent as the other villains, but still pretty well. So that kind of rounds out all the villains in the movie, and I thought they did a really excellent job in the movie as well. So they went through kind of redemption arc for some of them, and some of them not. But I think they added quite a lot to this particular movie. So then we get to the actual Spider-Man in the movie. So as you know, we have Tom Holland Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and Toby Maguire Spider-Man as well. So I haven't really been a fan of Tom Holland Spider-Man. I've found his first two movies okay, but just found his characterization of Spider-Man really annoying. His fanboy complex that he has for Tony Stark really got on my nerves as well, because I think he should have been his own character, not relying on Tony Stark or anything like that. But in this movie, he really comes into his own. So I think he's done a really good job of portraying Spider-Man in No Way Home. So I really enjoyed it, and of course, with the events that happen in the movie, he gets a chance to add a bit more emotion to the movie as well. So, like when May passes away, he really gets to shine and show that emotional range that he needs as an actor, which is excellent as well. So yeah, I really liked Tom Holland in this movie. After the first part of the movie, the second half he was really, really good. I really enjoyed his portrayal of his Spider-Man, which is really excellent as well. So I hear that he might be still carrying on in the next versions of Spider-Man. So if he does, then I have a bit more hope that he will bring a bit more range to the character and do it justice. So then we get to the other Spider-Man. So Andrew Garfield from the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I didn't really like the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I didn't really like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man because he became after Toby Maguire, who was the greatest of all time, obviously, as Spider-Man. So after watching Andrew Garfield in No Way Home, I think I might have done him a bit of a disservice and kind of just not thinking that he was a very good portrayal of Spider. In No Way Home, Andrew Garfield was absolutely excellent. In fact, I think he might have overshone Toby Maguire as well. I actually really enjoyed Andrew Garfield in this movie. So I might need to go back and re-watch his Amazing Spider-Man movies and sort of watch it with a fresh pair of eyes. So I think he got a bit of a disservice from me, at least anyway, for his two movies that he did. So yeah, I thought he did really excellently in this movie. I guess he's kind of grown as an actor since then, which is excellent as well. But he had a really cool emotional scene as well, which I thoroughly enjoyed, which is when he saves MJ from dying. And he gets really emotional because we know that he wasn't able to save the woman that he loved in his particular movie. And so he always felt that it was because of him that she died, because he was not able to save her. So being able to save Zendaya and just the emotion that Andrew Garfield put in to that particular scene, that was really excellent, and I really enjoyed that as well. So I thought Andrew Garfield was absolutely amazing in this movie. Haha, amazing. And then we have the greatest of all time, Toby Maguire. He was absolutely excellent as well. I loved his portrayal of Spider-Man again, and just the way that his relaxed manner of portraying Spider-Man was excellent. But as I said, I think Andrew Garfield overshone Toby Maguire a little bit in this particular movie. But anyway, all three, Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, Toby Maguire, were excellent as Spider-Man in this particular movie. And I really enjoyed their portrayals of what they had to go through. So, it's just, in my particular showing, we had people clapping when Andrew Garfield turned up in the movie. There were people clapping, and I clapped when Tobey Maguire turned up. So that was really awesome to see, and what a great, idea to put into the movie, and just give something back to the fans who were fans of the original movies, which is excellent to see. Then we had Aunt May, aptly portrayed by Marissa Tomei. I did feel she was pretty young to play Aunt May. I really liked Aunt May from the original trilogy, the Tobey Maguire trilogy. But Marissa Tomei was pretty good as Aunt May. Can't say anything bad about her or anything. And her death in this movie really was really emotional, actually, and it was. I mean, it had to happen, right? Because Tom Holland his Spider-Man character had to grow in this movie, and he hadn't been through what Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire went through with the death of Uncle Ben. So having to go through the death of Aunt May, and I guess it's not really his fault, but it's a kind of his fault, because he could have sent the villains back beforehand, but he didn't. He decided to try and save them, and because of that, Aunt May died. So just seeing that emotional range come through from Tom Holland was excellent, and I think it really moved Spider-Man forward in a direction that he needed to go. He needed to grow up from being Spider-Boy, and he had to become Spider-Man. And I think having to go through that um, is what his character actually needed, which is excellent. So I think having Aunt May die in this movie, although sad, was something that was necessary um, to go forward with the Spider-Man movies in the MCU. Then we had Zendaya playing MJ. I haven't really been a fan of Zendaya previously. She has been in June, which I absolutely loved June, but she wasn't really in that movie a lot. It was just kind of like just certain sequences and things like that. But in this movie, I actually really enjoyed her acting in this particular movie, and her character of MJ wasn't as annoying as the previous movies, which was really good as well. And she really had some awesome chemistry with Tom Holland, actually. I think I heard they actually might even be dating in real life. I'm not really too sure. Something I came across in passing somewhere. But if that's true, then obviously that's why that chemistry is actually there as well. So Zendaya was good. Her character was good. And then what happens at the end, I think, was perfect, which I'll talk about in a minute. Then we had Ned, Tom Holland's best friend. Again, nothing wrong with the character and so on. The only thing that got me is that he was able to start opening portals without having any kind of training. As we know, Doctor Strange had to go through a lot of training to master the art of ring slinging, opening portals and doing magic and that kind of stuff. And it wasn't really explained why he had this ability. I assume it could be explored in some later Marvel movies, although I don't know. As in the end, we know that he loses his memory, so he loses the memory of him being able to do that. But I just thought that was a bit odd. It wasn't explained anyway. There was nothing shown to us how it occurred. I mean, if just anyone can get a ring and do magic, then kind of takes away what Doctor Strange had to go through to master magic and so on. So yeah, on the whole, great characters, great villains, great action, fun movie, no woke messaging, which is excellent, great fan service to the fans, and do all that, and you're going to have, a massive hit on your hands, which is excellent as well. So the last thing I want to talk about is the ending after the battle finale. It was great that Toby Maguire didn't die, because I thought he might have died after he got stabbed in the back. But yeah, it was great that he didn't die. I would have been really, really sad. But I guess that could have been a good ending for his character as well, considering he's not ever going to be in another Spider-Man movie probably. But having seen Tom Holland, Peter Parker making the ultimate sacrifice of sacrificing his friends, sacrificing his love for MJ, so that everyone would forget who he was, so that he could return the world back to its normal state. I thought that was really a fitting ending to this particular movie, and it just shows us that he's now grown up from being Spider-Boy to being Spider-Man. So, it was great to see him making that particular sacrifice, and then him having, going to find MJ and Ned, telling them all about what happened and who he is, and then seeing that because of him, MJ got hurt. He instantly knew that if he, brought them back into his adventures, they're likely to get hurt again. So the best thing for him to do was to not say anything, have them forget him, and that way they'll be safe and carrying on in their normal lives. I thought that was just a superb ending to this particular movie. So it wasn't a happy movie, but I think that, it wasn't a happy ending, but I think that it was absolutely fitting, and it brings Spider-Man to exactly where Spider-Man needs to be, right? You can see that it's come full circle, and Tom Holland Spider-Man is now exactly where Toby Maguire's Spider-Man was, right? Just a young guy trying to make a living in the world. He's not rich. He's not famous other than just being Spider-Man, and he's trying to do good in the world, which is absolutely excellent as well. So those are just my spoiler thoughts on the movie. I'd love to know what you think. I'm sure you've probably seen the movie already. If you have, just let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. What do you think of the ending? What do you think of the villains? What do you think of the characters? Were you surprised when the other Spider-Man turned up, or did you already have that spoiled for you before? Just really love to know what you think in the comment section. I want to read that. That would be really awesome. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, you're welcome to give it a thumbs down. And if you like my content, please subscribe as well. It just means the YouTube algorithm will find my content a bit easier. Anyway, that's it from me. Hopefully, I'll catch you in the next video.